So I was very, very mad at myself this morning on my way into the office today. So what I usually do most mornings is I pull out my Ace 360, disconnects from the tripod, and then I have a mount on my dash, and then you can just click it on there. And I love to have it there. Sometimes I'll turn it around and face it to me, and I'll record some videos. Otherwise, I'll put it forward, and if something interesting happens, I'll just hit the top button and record. And this morning I was in a bit of a hurry. I had to be in court this morning, and I was like, I'm not gonna bother. It was in my bag, and I would have had to like pull over and pull it out. Big mistake. So I'm traveling along this morning, and uh, and it was foggy, and I think could have been slippery, except that it's warm enough, and so there was a semi ahead of me with a blinker on. I live out in a very rural area. There was a semi with his blinker on. Seemed like he was lost and was going very slow, like I would say 10, 15 miles an hour. And it's a very windy road. And because it's foggy, there's no place to turn, pass really safely. So following the semi, I'm like, where are you going? And at times he looked like he was going to pull over, but our road has like no shoulders, certainly not enough for a semi to pull off on. So I followed the semi, and I'm like it was just a regular semi with a, you know, refrigerator box or just a, regular box on it, and it didn't make sense that he'd be pulling into like a farm or something like that. Sometimes, if they're hauling equipment or whatever they're going to, but it just didn't seem like he belonged there. And so I followed around, and then I realized what was going on. He apparently was a buddy of another semi, so this is where I was really angry. I didn't have my camera with me because it would have made such a good lesson. But I'm going to do my best to explain it. So a semi, it was a long, and here again, like this is probably what the semi was doing. It was a long flatbed semi trailer. It was empty, but probably pulling into this yard, maybe to pick up a piece of equipment or something, bring it to town. And the semi had gone into this driveway, and then it drops off, and the trailer, had gotten hung up in front of the the rear axles on the trailer, and he was stuck there in probably the last. I mean, I would say 20 feet of this trailer was dangling out into the line of the travel lane from the opposite direction. It was actually kind of a hazard because it's curvy, it's foggy. It was a little dark this morning, and it was a dangerous situation. And that semi was stuck there. He couldn't back up, couldn't go forward. Was losing traction. Probably because he was empty. Maybe if he had a load, he could have. But so I think this other semi, finally he pulled over. I think he was his buddy, but I'm sure he felt helpless. This flatbed semi, because he was stuck in this precarious position where he couldn't go forward, couldn't go backwards, and the side of his trailer is hanging out into the roadway. Thankfully, it wasn't dark. Like it was not fully light, but it was light enough people could see. But that would have been such a horribly dangerous situation because it was a black trailer, and I don't know what kind of stickering and reflective tape they have on the side. But I was like, this is this is one of the things I talk about a lot. This is why it's much more dangerous for truckers and delivery trucks and whatever, dump trucks. I think they present a much greater danger to those of us on the road than over-the-road truckers that tend to be out on, larger highways, multi-lane highways, on ramps, off ramps, all this stuff. This guy probably hadn't been there before and didn't really have any help there to warn other passengers. If I didn't have to be in court, like if I wasn't going to be late for court, I literally would have turned around, pulled off, and put my hazards on to warn cars coming from the opposite direction, because they could have very easily just slammed into the side of this trailer, kind of hung out to dry there. So anyway, a couple lessons there is be watch out, especially on rural roads. You just never know. Could be farm equipment, could be tractors, could be semis, things like that. And have a camera. Have your camera and have it on. So, very mad. It would have been a much easier story to tell if I'd have had my camera out. And if I'd have been thinking, I was just so dumbfounded by it, I didn't even think to pull out my phone and takes a video of it. But yeah, I felt bad for that guy. I'm sure it was a helpless feeling. Probably just needed a tractor down in the farm. Hopefully there was one down there to kind of give him a tug and kind of pull him up over the edge, or maybe push from behind. I don't think it would have taken a lot, but just had enough. It was stuck just enough that he just couldn't get any traction. So hopefully they got it out. But yeah, anyway, wanted to tell you guys that story. Sorry it's not as good as it would have been if I had actual video of it, but it is what it is. So thanks for listening.